What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bald and Bearded. Today, we're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of talking about what's out there because not too much has dropped, we're going to be doing 2 reviews of a Netflix show we watched and a Paramount movie that we just got out of the theaters watching. I am, as always, Robbie, joined along with my heterosexual life mate, Jacob.
Okay then.
What?
Anyway. Weird as intro ever.
you gotta expect the unexpected. Kind of like Jim Carrey's character in Sonic, how he expected that he wasn't going to expect something. So he wasn't unexpected. Alright. So we're going to jump into a Netflix original, Locke and Key. I finished it a couple of days ago with Holly. You finished it a couple of days ago as well, correct? I've actually read the comic a long time ago, so I'd kind of forgotten what... I remembered little pieces, but like a vast majority of the stuff I'd kind of forgotten. I knew how stuff worked, I knew the names of the keys, what they did. But other than that, the plot was lost on me because I could not remember anything. So... Netflix, I felt they did a really good job with this one. I'm not usually a huge fan of teenagers or children-led movies or TV shows. Stranger Things being one of the ones that I actually do like. You know, it just depends on how good the actors are. But I felt like this one, the younger of the Locke children, Bodhi, Bodhi, Tyler, Mackenzie, felt like they all did a really good job. What about you?
I think they did really good. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but so Bodhi was Georgie in It.
Well, that makes sense because I've not been able to see any of the It movies because I'm usually with my lovely, beautiful, ravishing wife. And she is terrified of the It movie, so I've snuck and watched the first 15 minutes of the first It movie, but she came home, and quickly proceeded to tell me to turn that expletive off, and I turned it off, so I have them recorded, I just have to wait and see, but that's cool, because I know the It movie was really good and everybody loved it. I thought he did a really good job. I think the mysteriousness of Key House and how adults couldn't remember, but they could remember. It was weird. Like, I don't know what makes them remember, what makes them forget. Because you saw as the mother drank a little too much, she was retaining what was happening in the house.
Yeah, because what I could tell, they didn't really touch on what made them lose their memories, other than the
right.
brother.
And I know it is in the comics, it's an age thing, but I do not remember in the comic her drinking and that making her remember. But like I said, I read the comic a long time ago. But I mean, you did bring up a pretty good point. I wish they would have gone into it. Maybe season 2, we'll get a little bit more into it. But overall, without doing any spoilers, because we're gonna do these without spoilers for a little bit and then kind of tap in the last little bit of each one. So what were your thoughts on Locke and Key?
I thought it was very well put together. Of course, now I want some magic keys.
Man, I would be stuffing my brain with all kinds of books.
Oh, yeah.
I would know every language. I would be like those math books. I'd go to the library and all those...
Get a calculus book.
Right, and just shove them in there. Like that's probably the coolest key, besides being able to use the teleportation key, the anywhere key. Yeah. But I think I would prefer the...
I don't know, the face change key would be pretty nice.
I mean, not that I think I'm a 10 out of a 10, but I mean, that one doesn't...
Get you places, man. Get you places.
Right, I mean, yeah, obviously, if I wanted to turn my face into the president, I could walk into the White House. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I think being able to increase your knowledge, that's probably the coolest part. What are some other cool stuff that you liked about Lock and Key?
Oh, I mean, they had a good storyline to it. Obviously, I think they picked the characters very well.
Yeah.
For the cast.
You know, like Scott with 1T, the mom, Uncle Duncan, you know, all of them. The lady who played Dodge, you know, Lucas, Gabe, all of them, I felt like they were really, really good at portraying those characters. Like I said, reading the comic, you know, they kind of fell in line with what the comics, and I love it when they actually use that point of reference instead of just taking the story and kind of doing what they want to it. They kind of stay close to what it is. So with that being said, Lock and Key, super awesome. We both enjoyed it. Even Holly, who is not a big like comic person, she really enjoyed it. So you don't have to be a comic book nerd to enjoy it. I am going to go ahead and warn you. We might put some flashers up, but as always, tap in the head means spoilers are on, and I will tap my head again when they are over. So, this is the spoiler portion of Lock and Key. Once again, awesome TV show. The way I had forgotten from the comics that Lucas was Dodge. Like, I knew Lucas was and Dodge were the one, but I forgot that he was the love interest of Mackenzie. And it was like right there at the end when it all kind of clicked.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming with Gabe until the end, of course. Once
Right.
They kind of led up to it at the end there, and I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, whenever they threw Dodge in the portal, I figured, you know, that was probably Kinsey or Ellie.
Yeah.
Who was thrown in there.
And as soon as like, because you see it in her eyes, it wasn't a malicious, like, you know, Tyler, I'm gonna get you. It was a help, like, you know, this is me. But I mean, it was a lot of, if you didn't read the comics, and even though I read the comic, I forgot everything. There was so many twists and turns. Bringing back the crazy killer dude. I can never remember his. Was it Randall?
What, Rendell?
Not the kid. The kid that shot the dad.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his name.
I mean, obviously he's a big character, but he's not a character that's on there a lot. I forgot his name. But, you know, releasing him from prison, giving him the fire starter key. I don't think they ever named it. We'll call it the fire key. You know, he was able to come back and kind of relive the first time that he met the Locke family, which didn't end well. I will say probably the dumbest part, which, I mean, it happened in the comic too, was getting rid of the fear. In the comic, she just took it out, put it in a box, it was fine. In this one, fear was like a monster. That part was kind of weird, but I mean, it also
made sense.
It worked. But now that we can talk about spoilers, what are some other cool stuff that might be a little in the spoiler realm that you enjoyed?
I would like to dive more into you know, what is this door or world behind the Omega door?
The Omega door,
of course, and see what other kind of, you know, demons and everything. Because I mean, I think it's weird that, you know, they shoot out the door and then they just die off. But how do they not be able to escape through that, you know, and not be demons? But I mean, I know obviously they had to have a host of some kind, so.
I mean, if they would have hit a dog or a salamander or a fish, you know,
that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, not saying that they could do much in those vessels, but you know, that is something that we're going to learn in season 2. I'm kind of excited to see what happens with Gabe and the popular chick, because she was hit by one of the demon bullets. That's what we're going to call them for all intents and purposes, because that's what they are. They shoot demons at people. So she did get hit, and you saw at the end of the last episode, they're sitting at a cafe, and of course, apparently there's no food behind the Omega door. So, homegirl's just eating like 18 pancakes, some waffles, some bacon, and I mean, that spread looked hella good to me. But, so kind of seeing what they're going to do, I kind of want to see who made the keys. Like, obviously, it was a Locke that made them, and why can't she take them from a Locke? I kind of want to see a little bit more on that. But for all intents and purposes, I was very pleased with the first season, and I hope that we get the second season. Obviously, I know we're not going to get it next week, but I hope it's not like 2 or 3 years away. I hope it's like within the next year so that we get it.
The only bad thing about TV series, usually a minimum of a year away.
Right. So we'll have to wait. But there's other awesome shows that are coming out, like Hunters. I think I'm going to actually, when I get done with the Hunters, I'm going to start The Boys. Because you've talked to me about it, Dustin's talked to me about it, and I think I'm going to break down and finally watch it.
Season 2 comes out, I think, sometime later this year.
Right, so might as well jump on the bandwagon now. So, we literally, probably an hour ago, got out of the theaters. We went and supported Paramount with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I had no idea what to expect besides, obviously, what we've seen in the trailers. We knew that Sonic got that makeover, and I will say it worked in the movie. So we decided to go support it, and I'm glad we did. I'm not going to say that this was a 10 out of a 10, but I felt like it was a solid 7, 7.5. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It made me laugh at points. And I felt like there was nobody who could play Dr. Robotnik as well as Jim Carrey did. I loved it. He's like, the time for talk is over. Let's push buttons, which is how any of us are in most games. You're just pushing buttons. But it was a great movie. What did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I'd say it met what I expected it to be. I liked it a lot. It was really good. Of course, the character rebuild was worth it.
Right.
Of course, you can't go wrong with Jim Carrey as any kind of villain or something like that.
Or anything in a movie.
So, and then the other cast was good as well, I think, for the story it played. So.
Right. So what were some of your favorite parts from it?
I think the part in the bar was my favorite.
Right. Knocking off the bucket list and then starting the bar brawl, which is always fun.
Yeah.
I actually liked the scene after that when they're, on the road in the truck, and then Robotnik sends the killer truck, and they're like, he rams it with his body, and he's like, I think the truck had a baby. And every time they would kill it, it would get smaller, and it would just keep producing other little things till they finally, lost half their truck. But, they ended up getting to where his wife was, and oh my God, his sister-in-law. That was some of the funniest stuff. Like, they ended up having to tie her down, and you think your sister would mind if I take her car? Yes, I will. She's tied up, can't do anything. And the sister's like, I think it'll be fine. She's like, this is my house. Then, of course, they forget about her and leave her tied up. But all in all, I think it was a really good movie. We haven't dove too much into spoilers, so now we will. So, and I just realized I turned off spoilers for the last one. So, let me start over again. With this one, we saw on the end credit scene that Dr. Robotnik ended up going to the safe world that Sonic was supposed to go to if he got into trouble on Earth. And it is a world of fungus. Nothing but mushrooms as far as the eye could see. And something that was really cool is obviously we saw, Robotnik in the red jumpsuit at the end, which was his flight suit that they made fun of him. And he obviously had the goggles, but he had a more tamed curlicue mustache. Well, as he slowly loses his genius level mind on the Mushroom Planet, you see the normal Robotnik mustache, which, I think Jim Carrey could pull it off. I mean, if Hollywood let me have a mustache like that, I'd totally rock it. I feel like I could. But now that we're in spoiler realm, what did you think? Like, what could you add?
I don't really know. Really, I mean,
it's hard to spoil this movie because you kind of know that they're going to fight.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it was a good movie. I don't feel like there was a lot of journey to it, like the storyline. Like normally you have to go through a lot of hoops to get to something. But I mean, you can't really expect that with Sonic because he's so fast. So
he hits the punchline pretty quick.
Yeah.
Probably some of my favorite part was actually Dr. Robotnik's conversations with the less intelligent. Like whenever he first gets to, what was it, Green Hill or whatever that town is, and they're at the baseball field and they're like, "Are you in charge here?" And he goes, "The answer is no," and like starts just berating that the Dr. General Bennett or whatever's his name.
He's actually a pretty big actor.
Yeah, he is.
So
he plays like Damien Dark in Arrow, and he's been on
he was
Walking
in
Tall.
Band of Brothers too.
Right. So I guess that was his fun little cameo in the movie, but just how he would talk to people, because obviously Dr. Robotnik, he has like 5 PhDs. He's, all intents and purposes, he's a genius. But he just talks to people like they're dumb, and just some of the interactions with that were just hilarious. And when you put Jim Carrey in something, whether it's, the Cable Guy, whether it's Bruce Almighty, whatever you put him in, he's comedic gold. Like, my favorite part was when he put the beats on or the headphones on, and he's playing his music, and he just dancing in true Jim Carrey fashion. Like that, he was probably my favorite part of this movie. Do you have anything to add on these two little movie reviews?
I do not.
Well, that's going to be a pretty quick, short episode of The Bald and the Bearded. Once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for stopping by and enjoying spending time with us. And I hope you continue to come back and spend more time with us. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Robbie.
Jacob.
See y'all later.